Hey, I've got a question for you. If good things come in threes, then why are there 14 editions of Big Shiny Tunes? Welcome to Must Be Nice. I'm your host, Evan Mumford, and I'm very excited about tonight's episode. We have the hilarious Ryan Bangma. Ryan loves beer, and that's exactly what he's bringing to my city. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone who has passion about something, and more importantly, can explain to me why it's important and what it serves in any capacity. So I'm very happy to have him on. A little shout out, actually. He works at this wonderful place called The Drake. It has the best beer in the city in Victoria. Couldn't recommend that place more. In fact, on that note, I am happy to announce Must Be Nice has its first sponsor. This is not a bit. We actually have a sponsor, Victoria, BC Sneakerheads. It's kind of like a sneaker streetwear kind of thing. They have a Facebook group with more than 4,000 members. They have a real passion for this stuff. You know, there's plenty to do there. You can buy, you can sell sneakers, clothing. You can get information about product releases. And I think more importantly is they're kind of focused on really finding out if an item is authentic or not, which seems to be a big deal for some people. Some of the brands they have: Yeezy, Jordans, Supreme, Bathing Ape, Gucci. Oh, wow. Yeah, but I know what you're thinking. What's in it for me, Evan? Well, here's the deal. If you're a Must Be Nice listener, go to the Facebook group Victoria, BC Sneakerheads. Sneakerheads all one word. And just message one of the administrators, Connor, Riley, and just say you heard about the group on the podcast. And you'll be entered into a raffle draw for a free Supreme shirt or some other crazy cool item. And I just recommend you do it. I'm going to do it. I don't know if I'm allowed to, but I'm going to probably use a fake name. But nevertheless, Must Be Nice. So check that out, guys. I got a sponsor. I should mention the music for today. The outro music is by a local band in Victoria called No Heart. They have a new record coming out soon, and I actually started playing drums with a guitar player in a separate band, and we're going to probably release an EP and play a couple shows. I will let you guys know. All right, moving on. You guys are going to love this episode. We're going to see if beer is going to be allowed in the city. And I should mention something right off the bat here. I'm getting a lot of people coming to me, Evan Mumford, and talking to me about what my citizens are eating. And they're very upset and very concerned, which is fair. That's you're good people. But again, it's wildly inappropriate. I am Evan Mumford. I have no control over what the mayor does. Keep that in mind. And with that being said, very excited to have Ryan Bangma on. This guy is very talented, very funny, and one of my favorite people. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Welcome to Must Be Nice.
If you wanna go to a movie tonight, there's really just one restriction. 'Cause if you wanna go to a movie, girl, give me science fiction. Science fiction. Give me science fiction. Science fiction. Give me science fiction.
Hello.
Welcome, Ryan.
Oh, thanks for having me.
To Must Be Nice.
Yeah, it is
Right.
nice. Wait, sorry. The show is called Must Be Nice?
That's right. The show is called Must Be Nice. The city is not. We don't have a name for the city yet.
Oh, okay.
But we'll get there.
Can I have a suggestion for a city name?
Absolutely. Let's get into this right away then.
Sure.
Folks, this is Ryan Bangma. He's going to be introducing the topic of beer to my city, and we will certainly allow that to happen. But you have some sort of...
I've got an idea for a name for your city.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, go ahead.
How about Kelowna?
Pardon?
Kelowna.
Okay.
I was expecting more of a reaction out of that, not just for you to continue to drink your hay, y'all.
It's one of those things. It's one of those dilemmas. Like,
Yeah.
Do you try to riff off a Kelowna?
Well, I just thought, like, for you as like a hey y'all loving man, the idea of the word Kelowna should bring some sort of
Is Kelowna just like a nice pocket of colonialism?
Yeah. They believe in Kelownaism and White Oakleyism.
You can actually go to whiteoakley.com and use the coupon code Guy Fieri to get half off.
Give early and give often.
Absolutely. So Ryan, you wanted you were very adamant. You're like, Evan, do you have alcohol? And I said no. You know, in the old world, alcohol kind of ruined a lot of my friends. It ruins most of society.
The old world, you mean Nova Scotia or?
No, the world before I became mayor in my city.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I should tell you. That's considered the old world. This is the new world.
Oh, okay.
And I've seen alcohol be too damaging. So
fair.
When you brought up beer, I was definitely hesitant.
Trepidatious.
Yeah, if you wanted to be pretentious, trepidatious would work.
And I do.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and you were like, Evan, let's introduce beer. And I thought I'd give it a chance, listeners. I am a, man of many
worldly obsessions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what's going on? What do you want to do here?
My idea and my passion and what I'm here to talk about today is introducing to your city beer, and not just beer, but a beer culture, and specifically brewery based. Throughout history, beer, as far as I feel, is a staple of why we are here today. Society cannot exist around if it wasn't for beer. It's the earliest form of water purification. Back before the people, cities gathered together and people gathered together, they were more interested in murdering each other when they would run into each other. But beer brings people together, and specifically alcohol, and it's the only reason why we could gather in communities and start culture and start cities.
Right.
And the existence of beer and all the ingredients that go into it have a lot to do with that.
That makes sense. Yes. Thank you, Ryan, for that great point. I think you're trying to hit on social cohesion.
Social cohesion. And, that's one part of it.
That's where I will stop you.
Okay.
We do have smoking already, which is a vice that also is social. There's the cohesion element. Now you're bringing you're kind of pouring liquor on everyone. Whether or not you can talk about all the culture it's produced. The culture is in the old world. We are benefiting from that culture already. I don't need it to happen again. All you are doing is bring a yeasty kind of smell to my city.
No, I don't think that's it at all, and I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. I mean, you say that we're bringing liquor, and I'd like to keep that word out of it right now because liquor is not what we're talking about here. We're not talking about grain spirits, potentially we could be, but we're not talking about that right now. What we're talking about is the existence of beer.
Sure.
Is a beverage that was drank for thousands of years. Back in France, beer was given to farm workers. 5 liters was rationed to them every single day. These were low alcohol beers that helped lighten the mood of the atmosphere that they were existing in. It was also helping to purify the water at the time. Now I understand. I didn't understand coming into this that this city that we're talking about is post. Like we've had civilization already.
Right. I wouldn't call it post. I would call it parallel. We are kind of existing in the same diaphragm.
Methods of water purification already exist in this city. So you're not concerned about that. Okay.
These are just facts. And you talk about people having fun with all these beers.
Yeah.
It's fun because of the element of liquor.
Yes.
Would you drink beer if it didn't have liquor in it?
Yeah, I think I would.
You would.
Yeah, I would.
You would just drink a soppy soda.
A soppy soda?
Is that not what a beer is?
No, not at all. A soppy soda, my friend. Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, sodas, in my opinion, sodas will kill you faster than a beer would. I mean, think about all those sugars. Think about the diabetes that's related to that level of sugar intake. Now, there's no question in my mind that sugars exist in beer, and quite a bit of it does. But there is also a lot of nutritional benefits that exist in alcohol, in beer, specifically as well. I mean, really, we're talking about liquid bread here. This is something that's been created and built to sustain a group of people from generation to generation. Where you can taste. It's a memory of our ancestors. Every sip you take is a memory of the people that have existed before us, as well as a tribute to those who created it today.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. This is great. This you are kind of building. I get it. You have kind of an ancestry, but the whole point.
Well, not just me, but we all do.
But we don't care in this new city, man. I have no interest in what came before me. We are looking forward. And if you talk about ancestry, we're also talking about blood on our hands. Every beer company you love definitely has profited through very nefarious ways, I'm sure. But okay, that's fine. So I do see what you're saying. I respect that. You mentioned nutrition. Let's talk about that.
Sure.
Nutrition.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, there's no grocery stores in my city yet. No one's really. The only source of nutrition right now are whatever you can get from a cigarette.
Wow.
It's not good.
Then you should be begging me to come to your city.
Right. So what's nutritious in beer?
Well, I mean, it's loaded full of calories. Now, if you have nothing else in your city right now, where else are you going to get those calories from? I mean, this is bread. This is a staple of diet. Like, you can essentially live off of what's contained in beer. I mean, granted, you're probably going to want to take a few vitamins with that, or at least spend some time in the sun to get your vitamin D. But it's packed full of the same goodness that you would find in a loaf of bread.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, of course.
I'm kind of curious about this.
Yeah.
If they say you can live what? Was it 3 days without water and like 14 days without food or something?
I haven't drank a glass of water in about 14 years.
Right. So beer is made with water.
It's mostly water. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You're talking about Blue Buck specifically, right?
No. Oh, that is a delicious beer. No, I might be talking about Keith specifically.
Hey, don't you dare.
Oh, I dare.
Nutrition. I don't know, man. Like, no one's really doing much. Like, people aren't. I haven't heard complaints about food or water.
Sure. Well, where are they getting their food and water from?
Yeah. They're kind of just existing off of whatever food they ate before they came.
Right on.
Yeah, this is actually very quite troubling.
I often forget the food I ate before I came. So,
you mean like coming?
well, no, that's not what I meant at all.
Oh, okay. Because it's always asparagus for me, at least.
Or pineapple.
That makes it taste better.
I've heard.
I wanted to make it taste bad, so I stopped eating my own.
Sorry, were we talking about beer still, or?
Yeah, both kind of points you brought up so far have been suspect points. You brought up social cohesion, which I already have. Everyone's happy smoking cigarettes. And then you brought up nutrition, which beer, it has what? Name me nutrition in it. It has yeast.
Yeah, well, yeast isn't really the active nutrient in it. I mean, okay, maybe, you know what? I can't speak to the actual nutrition inside the beer itself. I can't say that. I know that it contains calories. I know that it's made with grain. I know that it is a fermented product.
Sure.
Which is also, we're not just talking about yeast fermentation. We're talking about bacteria such as Lactobacillus and Brettanomyces, which improve gut health. So if you're talking about your society, the people within your society having to maybe eat and digest things that aren't familiar to them, the quality of their gut health is really going to come into play when you talk about their overall happiness.
I don't think they're focused on gut health. It's like going to a starving child and like, have you had your omega-3s yet? It doesn't matter. They just need food in their tummies.
Sure. But I'm not here to bring food into their tummies. I'm here to bring beer. You need to figure out food on your own. I feel like that's
good point.
That's not up to me. That's not what I'm presenting. Yeah.
Let's kind of like hop and skip over the nutrition thing.
Sure. Oh, hop and skip. That's a great pun.
Because hops
are in beer. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Also closely related, hops to the marijuana plant. Interestingly enough, not just good for not just a flavoring in beer, but it's also a preservative in beer. Also, it's a natural sedative. So if you're having problems with insomnia, having problems sleeping, doctors used to recommend stuffing your pillow full of hops to help you get to sleep better at night.
Is that right?
That is 100% true. Yeah.
The same doctors used to prescribe cocaine because your leg hurts.
Well, I mean, I met a doctor tonight then, I guess, in the bathroom at the pub I was at, and he was prescribing pretty hard.
You know what's funny? When I hear the Dr. Phil...
Yeah.
I think is he a doctor of...
He's just a doctor of Oprah.
Is that what... That's it. Is that who Dr. Phil is?
Yeah. He has a PhD in Oprah, and that's it. Yeah.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, you always thought it was Gail to have the PhD in Oprah, but it's actually Dr. Phil.
Isn't there a fella, Herbert or something?
Herbert? What? Who are you?
Doesn't she have a man?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Herbert kind of sounding name.
Yeah. Like a real Melvin or
Stegman.
Statement. It is something like that. Yeah.
It's like Simmons.
It's as mysterious as Shania Twain's husband, you know?
Who is Shania Twain's husband?
I think his name is Mud, or was Mud.
Puddle of?
My name's Mud. Last name Puddlove. That's great.
You know what? As we're sitting here, Ryan and I, and thank you for coming up to my.
Oh no, of course.
My
loft.
my house.
Yeah.
I of course live on a big mansion. On the
I'm very impressed.
kind of a great Gatsby. Do you get the Gatsby vibe?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally,
Thank you.
totally.
So thank you, Ryan, for coming up. And we've actually had a few drinks ourselves here. And why I'm enjoying my company with you is strictly because of the liquor, probably.
Oh, of course. Yeah. It's our whole relationship is based on that.
Let's kind of weasel our way back to liquor. What's it doing to us? Why are we so keen on drinking just to be around people?
Sure. Well, I mean, honestly, it's we all live inside this shell that we call ourselves, you know? And it's so rare that you can get a little piece of truth or a little piece of honesty from anybody these days, right? We all put up our walls. We all put up our barriers. And that's something that will exist in a future society as well. Now, alcohol helps. I'm not going to say break down those barriers because it's nothing that you have to break down, right? Those barriers are created by yourself. They're not something that exists naturally. And alcohol, beer, especially because of the low level of alcohol you're intaking at one time.
What's a beer? You on average 5-6%?
Yeah, honestly, like a lot of these beers that we're talking about that were drank through history were about 3%.
Is that right?
Traditionally, yeah. A lot of those saisons, those grisettes, the Belgian style beers, they would have these table beers that were about 3%, so they could drink them, and it was more for nourishment and for hydration than anything.
People today would drink O'Doul's.
Yeah.
Beer without liquor is soppy. Whatever I said.
No, we're not.
Soap.
I feel like the connotation when you say the word liquor is hard alcohol, right? Like you're talking.
What do you want to call the alcohol component? Alcohol?
No, I want to call it beer.
So beer as a whole,
Sure.
one of the most important elements is liquor.
To you, it's called alcohol. It's called alcohol by volume. ABV is how you measure the level of alcohol in beer. Yeah, sure.
ABV.
Yeah, definitely.
You see alcohol as like, it's there, but it's not important.
Yeah, I mean, granted, there are people that do this, but for me personally, and I think if you create a culture around beer, most people that I have, for the listeners that don't know, I work at quite a reputable beer bar here in Victoria. Most of I'd say 99% of my customers don't order a beer based on the alcohol level in the beer. That's not really a factor that comes into play.
Okay.
They're more concerned about taste. They're concerned about flavor.
Okay.
They're concerned about. They're also concerned about how interesting it can be. What they can learn from it. I mean, beer is a living product. It exists through the will of man, but also through the will of nature. If you look at now, this might be different for you. I know that you've called beer alcohol. I'm not talking about wine. I'm not talking about spirits. I'm not talking about cider. I'm talking specifically about beer.
Beer. Yes.
And I want to make that very clear because I think beer is special on its own. Beer is an art form to create. Wine, for instance, has so much to do with terroir. It has to do with nature. It has to do with what happened that year. Wine is made by God.
Okay.
Beer.
Here we go, folks.
Beer is made by man.
It's so funny.
It's not funny.
I think you're coming from a place of class. Because here it is. We're in my city. We have nothing. We have a bank. We have subsidized houses, cigarettes, sports, Rathball. You can hug hard. We have an economy.
Fair.
You're bringing... Honestly, it's pretension. Beer, you can make beer what you want. You can be philosophical about it with all these facts, and it's great. End of the day, we get off work, we want a beer because it has alcohol and it has that depressive effect.
You're just selling it yourself because yes, it does have that alcohol and it does have that depressive effect potentially, but it also has everything else that I talked about. So you can take from it as much or as little as you want from it. So to you or to somebody in your city, it might just be that thing that they want at the end of the day, but that exact same product, that exact same thing might be one of the most meaningful things to another individual in your city.
Okay.
And it's the same product, it's the same thing.
Yes.
They both appreciate it in their same ways, and their passion for it is equal, but it exists differently. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. And
You do,
folks,
yeah.
there's a reason I let Ryan come in here today. I do respect his opinion.
You mean invited me? Sorry.
I'd like to ask you, Ryan.
Yeah.
Give me an example of a great story you've had from beer. Maybe a life experiencing or like something that made you a better person. That has to do with beer.
Sure.
Did you drink it before this happened, during, etc.? Do you have a really good one?
Well, I mean, it's tough for me because for me personally, most of my life experiences in the past decade or so have evolved around beer. I mean, for me personally, the friends I've made and the people that I know through this product, it has changed my life, not just in the day-to-day, but for all of it. I mean, I owe most of what I am to beer and the beer industry.
But you must admit, you come from privilege. You work in the industry, and you work at a place that sells different kinds of beers.
Sure.
Nova Scotia, what happens is you get off work, you go to the store, you get the cheapest beer, which was often Keith's, and you get blackout drunk, and you do awful things. And beer was always the drink of choice, which I found interesting over hard liquor. But what is that component? I don't want that.
Okay, so imagine if...
Because what you're saying, I love. But I know beer.
Okay, so perfect. What I'm saying you love, let me come and bring beer to your city then. Right? So you don't like what Alexander Keiths did and came to bring beer to where you're from. But let me come and bring my passion for beer and my passion for fermentables to where you are, and I'll share that passion with the people that exist in your city, as opposed to just creating the low quality fizzy yellow water,
right,
and selling it as something that it's not.
Right.
Let me come before somebody else does and bring true beer. And not just beer, but beer culture.
The culture of beer. This sounds great. And again, and I respect it.
Thank you.
But I can't see past the fact it's like people who are these rich people who do coke. They're looking down on the people who do crack on the streets.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing in a different chemical aspect. We drink shittier beer, which is the crack. You drink fancier beer, which is the coke.
Yeah, but if you let me bring beer to your city...
How would you stop the troublemaking? You drink even your fancy beers. You drink 4 of those.
The troublemaking.
You drink 4 of your fancy beers. You're on Amazon buying Shania Twains instead of Kid Rocks.
That's true. That's true.
You drink 5.
Well, that's a classier decision. Well,
absolutely it is.
Yeah, definitely.
But nevertheless, you're making these.
Okay,
decisions.
so do you have a? I'm not aware. Do you have a tax structure set up in your city?
We actually do.
You do? Okay.
We do.
So something that excites me about not just beer sales but alcohol sales as a whole is a lot of that money that's brought in from taxes go back into the community. So
that's what the Lotto Corporation says.
Yeah, for sure.
But they're still profiting off of vices.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're also putting out there a lot of programs, a lot of social programs to help combat those vices too. So are you saying that without the structure of, say, a brewery, that say the brewery didn't exist, do you think people would find alcohol in their own way?
I mean, then we come back to the 20s there with all that nonsense.
Prohibition, yeah.
Which I definitely don't agree, and that's why I invited you here today.
Sure.
Because I don't want the prohibition aspect to come into play.
Yeah.
I think they would totally find it. We want vices. Drew and I talked about this.
Okay, so then you would then. Sorry, I'll let you finish.
Well, there's a death drive ultimately, and we do want liquor. We want alcohol.
So those vices that people have, they would find naturally.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They wouldn't. It wouldn't matter if those people that wanted it would find those vices.
Well, I think it comes with an Uncle Cracker CD.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, we all come with an Uncle Cracker CD from time to time. That was a horrible joke. So what I'm saying is that if you have those problems that exist in your society already, allow a brewery to come into play that you can tax the sale of the beer, and then you can use those tax dollars to put it towards social programs that go towards helping a problem that already exists.
Well,
in
you
your
sound
society.
too good to be true. Would you run this brewery for me?
Of course I would.
You would.
In a heartbeat.
I have now. What are you gonna do when people get too drunk? I have the Buck Boys, the police agency.
Sure.
But I really think there's gonna be trouble. People are gonna be drinking and wanting to fight and play pool, which
Definitely.
is pool.
I know it's the bane of my existence as somebody in the beer industry is pool. I know. I don't get it. I don't understand
What
why
is
people
beer
want to
and
play
pool?
it.
What is that combination,
dude? What is just pool? Really?
I mean, know.
Honestly,
dude.
yeah. Look at any famous pool player. There's Cracks Mahone.
Oh, is Mahone still playing?
Cracks Mahone. No, he's dead. These are all long lost.
He actually
pool
died from an
players.
apple. Cocaine.
Wow. Oh.
Do you believe in vices? Do you believe?
Yeah, 100%. I have
Right?
my own for sure.
You do?
For sure. Yeah.
Can you live a healthy life with a vice? Successful working life with a vice?
Yes, definitely. As long as you understand it as a vice, and as long as you respect it, and that's a thing that a lot of people forget about vices is that if you have a vice, whether it's alcohol, whether it's gambling, whether it's buying shit on Amazon, you need to acknowledge it and respect it as a vice, because it's something that in you that is not going to go away. And you're going to have to deal with forever. Like for me, I have vices, and I look at those vices and I try and recognize them right away so that I can take outward control of them. Now I understand that not everybody is as strong as myself. But,
Absolutely.
But it is something that no matter what exists in a society, there will always be vices. And you can't just regulate and control what people have access to control the vices that they're going to have.
Yeah, that's fair. And that's fair. And it comes down to my citizens being strong and healthy like you. And I hope that I, as the mayor, can kind of guide them into a healthy place.
I hope so too.
It's tough. Howdy, citizens. This is your... And I can't do that. Run it back, Evan. Hello, citizens. This is your mayor. And I know, right off the bat, I know I'm putting a lot on you guys, but I'm giving you these vices only because I trust you, I respect you, and you're going to enjoy them like the adults you are. Look, I'll be honest. I thought there was no way when Ryan came in here that would ever allow beer into our city. But look, he convinced me. What's that, Evan? Oh, you have a note. Yes, pass me the note. All right. What does this say? From someone named JT. It says, "We need to talk." What is this? Who's JT? Who are you? There's no address, no number. JT, Justin Timberlake. I doubt it. But if you're hearing this broadcast, JT, feel free to come up and chat. That's all I have to say. All my citizens are welcome in my home. You're welcome anytime. There's no need for notes. There's no need for any of this. You come up and talk to me. All right, look, back to Ryan. I'm not going to let him get away with it that easy. I need structure. We need structure. We can't be introducing beer, then letting it just exist without a curator. So, we're building a city. So I need a brewery to house this shit, and I'm putting it on him. I'm putting it on Ryan. He needs to convince me a little bit more. So, let's get him back. Let's see what he has to say. We are back with Ryan Bangma. He is talking about beer.
Yes.
And I have kind of listeners, I'm going to be honest with you. I am a man of vices. But he has introduced beer in a way that kind of makes me like kind of warm inside, soft inside, and he's gonna have a brewery of his own, and I'm very excited for him and his colleagues to run it. And I was kind of curious, who are your colleagues going to be? Who's going to run this with you?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to bring with me a staff of fine folk to run this brewery. So I am going to call upon the people of your community to help myself run this brewery. Now, I have some experience brewing beer, and I feel like I can brew a good enough product right now, and will continually get better to hone my skills to brew a better and better product all the time. All I'm saying is that I'm not going to bring a staff of people with me, but I am going to take my love of beer and I'm going to sell that to the community, and I'm going to hire people within your community. So I'm not going to bring a bunch of people. I am going to generate incomes for people that already exist inside your city.
Okay.
It's just going to be me entering in. I'm going to train people. I'm going to train people to serve beer. I'm going to train people to make beer. I'm going to train people to brew beer. Not just at the brewery itself, but this is knowledge and this is insight that I want to share with the whole community.
Perfect. I'll just do kind of a quick, you are the business owner, you have your own rights.
Yes.
Can I smoke inside your bar?
No.
I have to go outside to smoke.
You've got to go outside.
Okay, you've lost 98% of the population in my city.
98% of
There's like 2 dudes
smoke.
who don't smoke. Yeah.
2 dudes don't smoke.
Who just decide to go to the bank all day.
Sure.
One of the laws of my city is you can smoke inside and you can smoke in front of children.
Okay.
But it's kind of up to you to decide whether or not you should. So for you to kind of actually, it's funny for you to come in here and run this little charade here about this brewery.
Sure.
But we can't smoke inside. Literally one of the first rules of our city. Sorry if I didn't mention.
Yeah, you didn't mention that at all.
I find that very curious.
Why do you want to smoke inside?
Because smoking, I was told, is social cohesion.
Sure.
But it isn't drinking. Oh, here we go.
Well, I mean, I find it interesting that that you call into question the health aspects of alcohol, but you allow people to smoke inside. And I'm not saying that necessarily that smoking is bad for you, but secondhand smoke definitely is. So
this is not the time or place.
Sorry, what?
Not the time or place.
I'm just saying that that
I am the mayor.
Sure.
I've granted cigarettes and smoking inside.
Sure.
You listeners, listen up.
Okay.
You come in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guns blazing.
Yeah.
And I've granted him a brewery. But you can't just slash rules right away. You have a brewery, you can staff it with my citizens, share will work there.
Sure.
We are smoking inside because that's all we have right now.
Mm-hmm.
You could give us, where do we smoke if we can't smoke?
Could I provide a covered area?
Absolutely.
Sure.
What's inside this covered area?
Pinball machines?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Back on board.
All right. Good. I'm glad. Yeah. We'll have a covered area for the 98% of smokers.
No pool tables.
No pool tables.
Thank God.
Yeah. Just pinball machines, bud. Just pinball machines. Because I know as a smoker, you think of yourself as a cool guy, and pinball is a fucking dope thing. You know what? And you can even bring your beers outside. If you're okay with that.
Bring our beers outside.
Yeah.
We can smoke outside in this covered area with a pinball machine.
See, what I'm concerned about as far as the smoking inside goes, is that the secondhand smoke having an effect on the ingredients of the beer. So the malt, the hops that I store inside the premises. So I would personally prefer if smoking existed in an outside covered area. I'm not going to judge. I don't care, but I don't want it to affect the quality of the product that I'm bringing to your city.
So your brewery here would have, a little playpen, if you will, for smokers.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be happy. The 2% who don't smoke, I guess there's no library yet for them to hang out in. They can just hang out in the lobby of your little brewery. We're in the playpen there. The boys are kind of cooking.
Yeah. You've got pinball machines.
Yeah.
There's like some kind of teeter-totter.
Little teats.
Little teats. There's a, I don't know, like some area for you to defecate in.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Fine. Here's what happens. I'm all day in this city. It's a utopia.
Of beer?
My city is a utopia of sorts.
Yes.
So people are working at the bank and they are smoking cigarettes, which actually gets you quite stressed out in the long run, I found out.
Sure, because of the heart disease and
everything.
cancer.
Everything. You smell like David Lee Roth. It's bad.
Yeah.
And now I'm drinking on top of all of this. I got some anger problems, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what my history is.
Sure.
It's like what do you do when things get weird with beer? Things often get weird. When you drink too much beer, things get strange. They stay out too late.
Sure.
This and that. They've got some weird sexual tension problems.
Yeah.
And they don't know what to do with themselves or their hormones. And the beer does lubricate that endocrine system. If you will.
Yeah, definitely.
What are you going to do to stop like the weird problems, the fights, the
Okay, yeah.
the this and that?
Sure, the fights, the disagreements. Yeah, that's one thing. I think that instead of trying to stop the weird in general, you should embrace the weird. Because weird adds culture. If we didn't have weird, we wouldn't have Shakespeare. If we didn't have weird, we wouldn't have Chaucer. If we didn't have weird, we wouldn't have David Lee Roth. But what I'm trying to say here is that
no, I get it.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying.
It's fun. It's fun for us, to philosophize about if Shakespeare wasn't around. Would I have,
Sure. But Shakespeare is that was just off the top of the head. It's not just Shakespeare. It's but again, David Lee Roth.
I know it's always David Lee Roth, but you're mixing art with life, man. This is a new city. Art is in the old world, where art was always against violence and corruption. That's where the most beautiful things came to mind. Even Shakespeare himself.
I don't know if that's right.
Tell me a song you like.
Sure.
Okay, what's a great song?
Well, can I give you a great band instead of a great song?
Well, yeah.
Well, how about just the song that represents the band, "Run the Jewels"?
Sure.
What
are they fighting against? Everything.
Yeah.
They're upset.
Yeah.
So you need a certain aspect of chaos and violence in your city to even have great art like that. Ba with the ba to bang dicky dicky.
Biggie said the boogie?
Said up drop the boogie. That was clearly about
Vietnam.
It was about Vietnam. Particularly, no, it was about Kosovo. This is what I'm talking about.
So, okay.
People are so happy to just skip over the violence that alcohol creates. And you are you're doing a really good job, but you are stepping right over. There's a weird spot, man. I love beer. I drink beer all the time.
Sure.
But there's a weird thing that happens with some people. You as a dude who's running this brewery, when things get weird, it could be physical.
This is you're not debating you're not talking about beer at this point. You're talking about humanity's right to choose what they want. You're talking about our right to exist and have emotions and feelings at this point. I mean, this transcends beer. This transcends alcohol in general. I mean, are you going to say that we can't have certain things because it disrupts the community, because it disrupts the peace? I mean,
right.
I know somebody else that said this before, and his name started with Adolf and it ended with Hitler.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, if you want to create that kind of utopia, then you go right ahead. But I'm just saying that people still need to choose, and they have to be able, and they have to be free to make mistakes. And people are going to get into fights, and people are going to fuck shit up, and people are going to lose, and people are going to win. And there's going to be good, and there's going to be bad that happens. But that is the beauty of humanity. And that is our right to decide.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
this is something that exists in the Bible.
Yeah.
You know, this is biblical shit.
All
we're
the jackass
transcending on.
stunts they were doing.
All the right? Bam Margera?
Dude.
Take him for example.
Do you know what
right?
Jesus said on the cross? Hi, my name is Johnny Knoxville. This is the cross stunt. I got him.
Sorry, that's the fucking funniest thing I've ever heard.
I got him.
Oh, my name's Johnny Knoxville, and this is the cross.
This is why we need beer. Folks, I am sold.
Oh my god.
We've
that
been
is
drinking.
the funniest fucking
That's not
thing.
bad. That's not bad.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what, Ryan? I'll give you the brewery.
All right.
I'll give you beer.
Oh, thank you.
Fights are okay because, yes, fights are life. It is what it is. I just want the violence to be minimal, and I trust you. Can I trust you? You're running this brewery.
Yeah, I'll run the brewery, man, but you got to come up with the things to support it.
I've got
You have a police structure already, right?
I do. I have the Buck
So?
Boys.
The Butt Boys. They'll
The
take care of
Buck
it.
Boys,
Yeah,
not
those
the Butt Boys.
Those Butt Boys will take care of it.
Folks, thank you for listening. We do have beer. I hope you guys celebrate tonight. I am signing off. I've got a lot to deal with, and God bless. Thank you, Ryan. Do you have anything to say? Citizens, he did it. We did it. We have a brewery. We have beer. And did you see it when I stuck it to him there? He was coming in kind of guns blazing. I showed him there are laws to this land, and he more or less agreed to follow them. You know, we've got a smoker's playpen with a pinball machine. Can you imagine? Things are happening. Yes, we don't have food yet, but we're still able to retrieve nutrients to stay alive. And you guys know this. Have faith in me. I have faith in you guys. You just, you have to kind of take it one day at a time, you know? You got to stay warm. You'll drink up. We're going to talk soon. Okay, this is your mayor, and I'm going to sign off now. Drink up. This is your mayor.